man, ya woman, Omani, ya mana, Yenny baby, Yako, Wata, ya warren, one some, one in pa, as I did pa of you, Yamo Yambera, Abeya, Omaya woman, Omaya mamana, Adiwaya no ra, Yamichada, Yamana Rena, one so, one in pa, so I wanna be, Yamo Yambera, Abeya, if you had one so, one in pa, as I did pa of you, Yamo Yambera,
The Ministry of Information is glad to host you this morning for our regular Meet the Press. As you are all aware, the Meet the Press is designed to offer ministers of state the platform to account to the good people of Ghana on the mandate, on the performance of the mandate with respect to the Times and the Review. We are hosting the Ministry of Transport this morning for the performance of this national duty.
Today marks the turn of Minister of Transport in the Meet the Press series, and my first time since assuming office as Minister for the sector. It is therefore my present duty to share with you some of the interventions being pursued to improve the transport sector. It is my expectation that at the end of this presentation, we will engage ourselves in a positive discussion to help the ministry in advancement of its course in achieving the vision of Ghana beyond aid. Mr. Chairman, the mission of the ministry is to provide leadership and an enabling environment for the development and maintenance of Ghana's transportation system through effective policy formulation, market regulation, asset management, and service provision. My presentation, therefore, will focus on the performance of the sector, challenges, and the way forward. The ministry, after its realignment in 2017, has oversight responsibility for maritime and inland waterways and road transport service. The policy and programs are carried out by the following agencies: the Ghana Maritime Authority, Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, Ghana Shippers Council, Tema Shipyard and Dry Dock, Volta Lake Transport Company Limited, and Regional Maritime University. That is the area of maritime and inland waterways subsector. In the road transport services subsector, we have Government Technical Training Center, Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority known as DVLA, National Road Safety Commission, Metro Mar Transit Limited, and Intercity STC Coaches Limited. Mr. Chairman, in the maritime and inland waterways subsector, in fulfillment of the broad national vision to create jobs and sustain socio-economic development of the country, there have been a lot of investment in the country's two main seaports of Tema and Takoradi to modernize and position them as a leading container hub and a beacon of trade and industry in West African sub-region. At the Tema port, the construction of 4 dedicated container terminals to respond to the increasing trade volumes and address infrastructure deficit is currently underway. The first 2 berths of 16-feet draft will be completed and operationalized by the end of second quarter of this year. The project also includes the upgrading of Temacom 3 Beach Road Junction, for which works have commenced. The 7-kilometer single carriageway is being financed by the Meridian Port Services, the operator of the container terminal at the port, at the cost of $8 million. When completed, this will ease the traffic congestion in the area, particularly cargo traffic movement of the new terminal. At last cabinet meeting, Cabinet has given approval to the Minister of Transport and Minister of Roads and Highways to engage APM Terminal, which is one of the operators of the port, that's MPS, what we call the Terminal 3, to engage them to finance the construction or the upgrade of the hospital road from the port to the motorway. And we are hoping that this project will commence before the end of the year. The Takoradi Port is also to have a facelift with the development of multi-purpose container terminal by a Ghanaian-owned company known as Ibistek at the cost of $450 million. For the first time in the history of this country, Ibistek is a wholly owned Ghanaian company, has been engaged to develop this landmark project. This demonstrates the commitment of His Excellency, the President of the Republic, to make sure that we involve our people in the development of our infrastructure. In December last year, the company signed an agreement with a EPC contractor, Mr. John Denom, for physical construction works. As part of the agreement, the construction of 4-kilometer road network that links the port of Takoradi and the new Takoradi Township to the Takoradi Container Terminal, which we call the Tech Hotel, has been constructed by Ibistek. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in our effort to eliminate double handling of bulk cargo to reduce costs at Takoradi Port, the construction of a dry bulk jetty with 800 meters quay wall is nearly completion. This development will improve the handling and increase the tonnage of bauxite for export. The partial use of the facility has since paved way for importation of clinker in transit to Burkina Faso. In 2018, about 100,000 metric tons of clinker was handled for Burkina Faso. We expect the tonnage to go up to about 200,000 metric tons this year. And the procurement process to look for the operator is underway. We are about 90% complete. And then again, we hope that by the middle of this year, we would have been to Cabinet, then on our way to Parliament for the approval to secure the operator for the operation of this edifice. As part of government manifesto to expand the port of Takoradi towards Sekandi, an executive instrument is before His Excellency the President, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, to declare the area between the existing Takoradi port up to Sekandi Naval Base as a port zone. DPHA, under the direction of the ministry, is developing the area into an oil and gas hub, and this will help the youth to acquire the necessary job that they are looking for. The ministry is also aggressively pursuing the development of a port at Kita in line with government manifesto. In our manifesto, we did promise that if by God's will, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo will become the president of the country, we are going to construct 2 ports, one at Kita, another one at Jamestown, which we cut the soil for the Jamestown fishing project last month. In 2018, His Excellency the President signed an executive instrument declaring the Kita area as a port zone. As a first phase to this development, a memorandum of understanding has been signed with Diamond Cement to construct a jet to handle clinker for this factory. This will also create jobs for the youth within the metropolis. Mr. Chairman, it is sad to note that over the years, Tema Shipyard and Dry Dock, which is arguably one of the largest within the sub-region, has not seen any appreciable development and is saddled with obsolete equipment. Through the assistance of Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, some operational equipment was procured for the shipyard. Meanwhile, government continued to pursue its search for the strategic investor to bring in the needed capital and technical expertise. I'm happy to state that the ministry is at the final stage of negotiation for the selection of the strategic investor to partner government for the revamping of the shipyard into a modern dry dock facility to meet the needs of the oil and gas industry. It is also expected that the investor will be engaged by the end of the first quarter and to get the yard ready for the fabrication of some components of the new FPSO for the 10th project. This is the vision of the president. Similarly, the search for a strategic investor to develop the Bankra Inland Port is nearing completion. The operationalization of the port would assist in decongesting the Tema port and facilitate transit trade, especially to the landlocked countries of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Mr. Chairman, in fulfillment of government initiatives to provide safety and livelihood of the communities along the Volta Lake, construction and rehabilitation of failing landing sites and facilities along the lake are ongoing at Dambai and Dambai Overbank, Yeji, Makango, Agodeke, and works are progressively, steadily ongoing. Similarly, as part of the measures to ensure safety of navigation in the Volta Lake, the removal of tree stumps along the navigation route in the Oti River at Damba in the Volta region has been completed. Furthermore, the authority has recently awarded a contract for the removal of the tree stumps at Yeji and Makango. The contractor is already on site and work will commence soon. To ensure safe launching and landing of artisanal fishing canoes as well as create and maintain hygienic environment for the fishing communities, Parliament has approved 208 million commercial agreement to finance the construction of 10 fishing landing sites along the coast. The identified locations are Axim, Diskoff, Mori, Manford, Winneba, Senyabreku, Fete, Teshi, and Adas. And we are collaborating with Ministry of Fisheries to undertake this project. And we hope that when it is completed, maybe around the middle of next year, it will help very much in improving the livelihood of our fishing communities along the coast. The Ghana Maritime Authority has also taken delivery of about 7 high-speed boats to enhance safety and security in our marine environment. The vessels include 5 patrol boats and 2 search and rescue boats. These patrol vessels would help clamp down on the increasing spate of illicit maritime activities in our territorial waters, and the oil fields by the 2 search and rescue boats will be used for quick and effective evacuation of victims or survivors in cases of maritime emergencies and accidents. Additionally, the authority has signed a contract for the 2 vessels purposely for the Volta Lake to improve surveillance and ensure safety. Mr. Chairman, the Ghana Maritime Authority, in collaboration with the Ministry of Transport, is taking steps to ensure the enactment of requisite legislation to improve the maritime sector. Some of these draft legislation include Ghana Shipbuilders Carriage of Containers Regulation 2018, Ghana Shipbuilders Cabotage Regulation 2018, Ghana Maritime Authority as Fees and Charges Regulation 2018. For the Cabotage Regulation, it is intended to reserve indigenous shipping for Ghanaian citizens and companies wholly owned by Ghanaians within our maritime domain. To support the government policy in youth employment, the Regional Maritime The Regional Maritime University is collaborating with Benashuta Ship Management to provide on-board practical training for students. BSM has cut the ground to build their African Regional Office campuses at the Regional Maritime University. This permanent structure will comprise a BSM office and a training center to monitor Regional Maritime University graduates. This will enable the company to increase its intake of cadets for their ships. Currently, BSM ships have over 350 Ghanaian crew, and this number is expected to increase. In the area of road transport service sector, Mr. Chairman, the spate of road accidents continues to be a matter of concern to government. It is sad to note that between January and December 2018, a total of 13,645 crashes involving 22,025 vehicles, including 3,903 motorcycles, resulting in 2,341 persons killed and 13,677 persons injured were recorded. Most of the crashes as a result of indiscipline among road users, particularly drivers and motorcycle riders. Acts of excessive speeding, wrongful overtaking, pedestrian knockdowns, and disrespect for traffic signals at intersections by motorcycle riders are the predominant factors contributing to road crashes in the country. This situation cannot be allowed to continue, and we must marshal all our collective effort to tackle the carnage on our roads. Moving forward, the National Road Safety Commission is vigorously running 4 major campaigns and also coordinating activities of engineering, enforcement, education, and emergency response institutions aimed at reducing travel speeds, protecting pedestrians on the street, empowering passengers, and compliance with crash helmet wearing. At this point, I wish to express the gratitude of the Ministry to His Excellency the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for his continuous support and making available to National Road Safety Commission an additional amount of 6.5 million to address the road safety situation in terms of their campaign and educational activities. Mr. Chairman, to enhance capacity for response to victims of road traffic crashes along the identified sections of major highways, the National Road Safety Commission has completed the construction of 8 emergency response centers at the following locations: Esuboy, Bonsu Junction, Asankari, and Gasu on the Accra-Kumasi Highway, Toji and Nopopo on the Accra-Faro Highway, Ochiko and Apam Junction on Accra and Takoradi Highway. Government has also granted approval for the National Road Safety Commission to be transformed into an authority with a mandate to ensure institutional compliance to road safety measures, policies, procedures, and guidelines. The overall strategy is to improve road safety, particularly among the most vulnerable groups in our country. The bill is currently with the Attorney General's office and will soon be placed before Parliament. The National Road Safety Commission has commenced installation of road crossing aids, popularly known as Lulupop stands, at 850 selected basic schools across the country, in addition to traffic calming measures and training to assist school children cross roads safely to and from school to improve child safety in the country. The Commission has also deployed over 300 trained and branded road safety education officers at strategic locations on national road network and various main transport terminals, providing road safety education and sensitization services on a daily basis to improve road safety awareness. Also, with the support of the World Bank, the Commission procured and deployed 10 pickups to the regional capitals to support road safety activities. Mr. Chairman, the Road Traffic Regulation that's 2012 LI 2080 is under review. This is to address some implementation challenges as well as incorporate innovations in the management of road transport services. Some of the key areas that need grave attention include mandatory refresher training for commercial vehicle drivers, regulation of commercial passenger and goods transport services, use of motorcycle and tricycles, and adoption of an unnamed traffic laws enforcement devices. It is my hope that as we begin our public sensitization programs on proposed amendment, we shall all collectively contribute to enrich the provision of the regulation to ensure smooth implementation and enforcement so as to reduce road crashes. Mr. Chairman, the government policy is to ensure that at least 80% of the traveling public commute by some means of high occupancy bus services. In this respect, government last year supported the Metro Mass Transit Limited with 50 new intercity buses to augment its fleet. An additional 50 buses are expected in the second quarter of this year. Similarly, the Intercity STC Coaches Limited will also receive 100 new intercity buses to augment its fleet. The MMT and STC provide direct employment to about 5,000 Ghanaians, including female drivers who have been taken through various levels of training. Last year, a total of 72 females received training at the West African Transport Academy, and 46 have so far received certification. Mr. Chairman, I recall that in 2008, during His Excellency former President Kufuor's administration, a program christened the Urban Transport Project was launched in Accra to improve mobility along some major corridors to the Central Business District. The Greater Accra and Kumasi metropolis were to benefit from this program. We witnessed the first pilot operation of this bus project known as Ayalolo Bus Services in Accra on the Amasaman to Tudu corridor during the latter part of 2016. Unfortunately, the pilot program has been suspended due to financial and operational challenges. Despite cash injection of about 4.5 million, which the ministry has injected, the operation could still not sustain itself till its suspension. Meanwhile, a total of about 100 buses have been earmarked for development to metropolis of Sekondi. We are taking 20 buses to Sekondi, 20 buses to Tamale, and 60 buses to Kumasi. And I'm happy to announce to you that STMA has gone through the process. It's almost completed. Tamale Metropolitan Assembly has also done its part, and currently the drivers are being trained at the academy. And we are hoping that by the end of the month, the operation of these three areas will start. Let me on this occasion applaud the KMA for the wonderful job that they've done in Kumasi. In spite of the difficulties confronting us, I think that KMA has put in place a very robust system that can sustain the operation of the BRT system in Kumasi. And I hope, and I'm entreating the media to give them the support. Yes, you may criticize us, but give them the support. I think they need your support to make sure that this operation becomes successful. The ministry, together with the Ministry of Finance and local government, is developing another structure for the operation of this Ayalolo bus services. We think that we need to separate the regulation from the operation. The earlier pilot project has taught us a lesson, lessons hard learned, and I'm sure that going forward, with the support of the media, I can assure you that the BRT bus system that is known will see one of the best operations in this country. As part of the activities for this project, we have constructed a bus terminal at the Tudi branch. And this bus terminal started June last year. And the contractor has done a marvelous job. And is ahead of schedule. He's supposed to finish by June this year, and the way he's going, I can tell you that by April this year, he will finish. It is part of the infrastructure facilities that we are putting in place as part of the operation of this Ayalolo Bus Terminal services. The Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority has embarked upon a massive automation of its operation in order to transform the authority into a highly effective and efficient organization through business innovations, best practices, and re-engineering. This has led to a new workflow to reduce fraudulent practices, revenue leakage, effective and efficient service delivery. There have also been major investment in cutting-edge technology, among others, to secure and enhance process of issuing driver's licenses in the country whilst ensuring the security and durability of the license itself. Due to improvement in business practices at the authority, a valid driver's license is now produced within 2 to 4 weeks. In the past, it took an average of 3 to 9 months for a valid driver's license to be produced. Somebody may ask, in other jurisdictions, it takes 1 day. It's true. But I think that moving from 3 months to 9 months to 2 to 4 weeks is an improvement, and we need to applaud the VLA for the wonderful job that they are doing. The VLA also undertook a review of the theory driving test regime and discovered that most potential drivers fail due to their inability to read and write proficiently in the English language. This is in no way an indication of their inability to drive safely on our road environment. To address this challenge, the authority has now translated the computer-based test into 5 local languages, that is Twi, Ewe, Ga, Hausa, and Dagbani. This new test method would commence by the end of second quarter of this year. Mr. Chairman, the authority has completed the construction of test grounds for its test office in Tema, while that of Kumasi is nearing completion. This has become necessary because as population increases, there is a corresponding increase in vehicular traffic. It becomes difficult for practical driving tests to be conducted on our major roads. The best practice has therefore been for driver testing institutions to use test grounds which are purposefully constructed to incorporate everything that could be found on the major road. The key challenges of the sector. Mr. Chairman, despite these interventions, the sector is faced with a number of challenges. The key among these challenges is financing for infrastructure development and service improvement. For the inland waterways, the necessary infrastructure, including passenger reception, landing stages, and modern equipment, is inadequate, as well as the presence of obstacles such as tree stumps, rock outcrop at Dabre, and sandbounds in navigational fairways of Water Lake. The road transport service subsector need a total overhaul. Inadequate regulations and weak enforcement have resulted in the poor standards and rising fatalities on our roads. Mr. Chairman, in the maritime and inland waterways subsector, the ministry will continue to focus on infrastructure development to respond to increasing trade volume. In this regard, the GPHA will continue with the infrastructure development of container terminals and provision of more berths with deeper draft to enable the terminal port to take bigger vessels. Continue the construction of new multipurpose terminal in Takoradi Port Basin to create additional berths for bulk cargo vessels to meet the needs of the oil and gas industry. Commend the development of Kita Port project in Volta region and also a new port in the Volta Lake at Mpakada. Mr. Chairman, the Volta Lake Transport Company Limited will benefit from a regional. I think I can continue. The Volta Lake Transport Company Limited will benefit from a regional multimodal project being supported by the World Bank. The support will cover the development of the ferry landing site at various locations along the lake, charting of navigable ferryways to improve safety of travelers and access to road improvement. With the development of Tema Akotomo Railway Line, the water lake is being positioned to provide a vital linkage for the carriage of goods and passengers to the offering part of the country and landlocked countries. I'm sorry, this is not what we intended for. Mr. Chairman, I'm almost done. The DVLA will continue to upgrade its ICT installation to improve efficiency in driving licensing and vehicle technical activities, as well as decongest their premises. It will also continue with the development of online services to enhance efficient service delivery and eventually lead to significant reduction in the numerous safety incidents recorded by the authority. The authority would also introduce vehicle smart card for its customers. This will replace the paper document vehicle owners have to carry on them after registration. With respect to road safety, the Ministry will continue to facilitate the transformation of the National Road Safety Commission into an authority with a new mandate to ensure compliance to road safety measures, policies and programs. In addition, the Ministry will complete the review of Road Traffic Regulation LI 2080 to ensure smooth implementation and also to allow for the incorporation of new transport innovation. Mr. Chairman, the Metro Mass Limited will continue to offer subsidized transport services for both the rural and urban communities. We will, however, support the Metro Mass Transit to renew its seat to play its expected role in the provision of public transport services. In respect of Ayalolo bus services, the Ministry will work closely with the Ministry of Local Government, Finance, Roads and Highways to restructure the operation. Mr. Chairman, in conclusion, I have tried within this period to give you some insight into the sector activities. Even though not exhaustive, I hope I have set the tone for interaction with the audience and that any gaps that I have left may be filled during the question time. It is my expectation that with your support, we will be able to achieve the task we set ourselves towards Ghana beyond it. I thank you very much for your attention, and I thank you for cooperating with us in this difficult circumstance. At this juncture, Mr. Chairman, I will take my seat and allow the media to question. But I think that I have with me an array of my lieutenants, the chief executives, and the board chairpersons here. Any question that borders on policy, I will do well to answer. Or if it is a sector specific, I think you agree with me that some of them will come up here and do justice to the question. I thank you very much. May God bless all of us and bless our homeland Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Minister for Transport, for that in-depth and accurate reportage. And the heavens bear us witness that change is indeed happening. And this is evidenced by the downpour of the shower of blessings that we have just seen. And I am not aware that the rains in Ghana can fall with such discipline. They are still falling, but they are falling in their right places. We are grateful to God for little favors.
Don't